your pen has a sperm thing.
It has sperm in it. So at the top there's like green liquid and little sperm.
Are you sure that's a pen? If it's got sperm in it?
It's
sure that's
a pen. It's a pen.
Is that what you call it? Is it? It's an everyday feature to you now.
Else it is.
Jeez. A lot thicker over here in the US.
Can't see what you're writing with because the ink's white.
Well, it depends on your medium, I guess. If the paper is brown or black, then white will show up.
Depends on your diet as well.
I thought that was more taste, Hannah.
I can confirm that also impacts the taste.
So.
Oh yeah, you had a medically based job or something, didn't you?
Yes.
That's what.
No, I think she was just a cum taster.
That isn't my normal research.
What a fantastic line of work.
That's my clinical trial there.
You needed to fill in an appraisal, didn't you, today? So what
Filled
did
in something.
Yeah. What did you say in your appraisal?
Well, I haven't done it yet. I've got I've got the thing that I need to fill out, but I don't know what to say.
What's the question? It just says, what does it say? Do you have it there in front of you?
Hang on, bear with me. I think I do.
All right, while she's rummaging for it. Guys, can we come up with something? I mean, let's ask ChatGPT. That's what we like to do.
What to do an appraisal?
Yeah, well, we really did, didn't we?
I hope my boss doesn't listen to this for multiple reasons.
Oh, you'd be fired. You wouldn't need an appraisal because you wouldn't be working there.
You might get a raise depending on what he's into or she's into.
Depending on what he thinks of you.
How I show compassion.
What?
Oh,
Why?
dear.
Why would you show compassion? What is it? Is it to clients, customers, or your fellow employees?
Well, that's what I'm stuck on because I struggle with that in general.
It's very vague. Is that literally just the question?
Yeah.
Just say I show compassion to those.
demonstrate.
Say I demonstrate and show compassion to those that need it. Just like Jesus, and then say praise the Lord. He can't fire you if you say stuff like that. That's it. He can't. You know.
So go down the religious route.
Just go down completely. Yeah. That's what you do.
Oh, okay. There's more. If anyone wants.
Yeah.
To help.
What else? What else?
Trust.
What? Do you trust
Yeah.
men?
Is that what it says on the form? Trust.
Yes, it actually does. How I've demonstrated that value. Okay, let's move on. Courage.
You've trusted secrets in the past.
Lack of.
Hold on. Trust. This sounds like the Wizard of Oz. What's?
Right?
Yeah. What's?
See what I'm dealing with.
I don't know.
That's great.
Oh dear. Right, let's get right into it. So, welcome to Hotspur Way, Season 1, Episode 28. Johnny, got a question from... from Petros from Vasudi in Limassol.
Oh.
Are you ready for this one?
I was just there yesterday. Yeah, go ahead.
So, when he sent this question in, I did have to Google it, and it's factually correct. You ready?
No. Yeah, let's do it.
You've heard the story about the boy who said, and I hadn't at the time, which is why I then Googled this, I'm 13 and I'm old enough to have sex because everyone else is starting to lose their virginity now. Everyone keeps saying to me that they practice safe sex and that I have to have a condom. But I keep looking down at my penis and it still looks the same. How long does it take to grow a condom? Or does it happen right before sex? And Petros asks, who in the Spurs squad was the 13-year-old boy and what's he like now as a man?
I'm so glad you got that one.
He just got sold. He just got sold to Bayern.
That's why he ran into the crowd. You've got my condom. Give it back.
That's right.
That's a fantastic answer.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's who I'd say. But if you want to go current squad, oh boy.
To be fair, he was current squad until a few days ago.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. Dyer's always struck me as just kind of a dunce. Like he's not. I mean, he could be a brilliant person,
but he is. Do you know anything about him? Do you know stuff that he does?
He's really clever, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got a gigantic brain. I know that.
Well, look at the size of his bonce.
Yeah.
Bonce.
That's what my dad always called it. So.
And And you were staring at Hannah's Bonce for how many years?
Yeah.
Oh, 2.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just because he always has that look on his face. You know, like not nearly as dumb as Jesus, but just up there. Kind of like
This looks like he's left the oven on or something.
Oh yeah. He needs to close his mouth a little bit. You know, kind of at least look like he's paying attention. Yeah.
But no, look, to be fair, Dyer, he's a bit of an entrepreneur. He's got a few businesses going right now, and
he speaks multiple languages as well, doesn't he?
He does. He's sort of middle to upper class as well, and I mean, his middle name's Edgar. Put it that way. So yeah, I mean, he's not an idiot. It's just he had his time at Spurs and he's gone now. Wish him all the best. By the way, Did you lot feel like? Did you cry when you heard his goodbye message?
With joy? No.
I thought it was a good one when I watched it.
It was real, but you didn't cry, right?
No, I didn't cry.
So I've heard 3 podcasts, where they said it was a tearjerker.
Oh, grow up.
Oh, they're just doing it for the mic. That's all they're doing.
Honestly,
doing it for clicks.
And
I've never cried. Never cried over a player leaving. Bale, Kane, Berbatov, whatever. I've never felt that sort of feeling.
As a 15-year-old, seeing Jurgen Klinsmann just after one season, he scored 29 goals. It should have been 30, but one of them got rolled off. When he left, it was. I didn't cry, but it was heartbreaking. You know, every day I was hoping to read something in the newspapers that, you know, someone had changed his mind. And then I was reading, I remember the stories like where Jerry Francis would take him, do any of you remember this? Like Jerry Francis would take him to pizza at this place in Enfield. I remember this story because trying to get him to change his mind, but off he went to Bayern as well.
There's no Fabrizio then, was then?
No, there wasn't. No, Fabrizio probably wasn't born. But that's the only time that it bothered me. But moving on. Right, so we played Manchester United on Sunday. And Hannah, let's go over to you first. So it was a 2-2 draw.
Mm-hmm.
And before we get to you, what happened was I went to the pub, to Monderno pub in Limassol. It's an old man's pub, but there's quite a few Spurs fans in there, which is great. If you combine the ages, it's about 700 years old. The 3 of them that are there. And it's a shisha place, so I watch the games there because I just get to watch it on my own instead of having a bunch of dickheads around. And Nikos, the general manager, decided to switch the game off.
Stereotypical.
Yeah, but that's his name. It is his name, Nikos. Yeah, he decided to turn the TV off just before kickoff. Yeah, he turned it. Basically, there's like multiple screens, and so one of the guys wanted to watch the Cypriot game, if you want to call it that. And so, my TV went off, and it turned on just when Manchester United were celebrating. And when you posted, Hannah, shall I read it out?
You can read it out. You may as well at this point.
Can you find it? Can someone
I can read it out.
Go on, that you have it. Go on then.
What that we got done by walking cystic acne.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, Dr. Tottenham.
Sean Millis.
So, Hannah, over to you, mate. What did you make of the game?
I thought it was difficult because all of our predictions, we had us win by some margin, right? So it wasn't reflective of that, but I actually thought it was fine. We're away from home. Old Trafford is not easy for us. And yeah, it was nice to see Werner play 80 minutes, even though we'll get onto that in a bit. I think we just saw, I don't know, we can't wait till that starting 11's back.
Tell me about it.
I think we saw glimpses of that, what we can do. And it just made me yearn for that, really. But yeah, all in all, I thought it was good.
So, guys, when we went 1-0 down, how did you lot feel?
I tell you what, my pre-match nerves went instantly, so that's good. They were gone. But at sort of the same time, the way the goal came about, I sort of just thought it looked very like the Tottenham of old. Everything within that moment, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Like the ball is bobbling about, and then eventually Udogie dispossesses Rashford, but the ball rolls straight to Højlund, and then obviously a guy who can't hit a fucking barn door blasts it into the top corner, and then it was ghosted after that. Where the fuck was he after that? Played for 3 minutes, that boy, and then he was gone.
Yeah, I didn't feel worried. I mean, I didn't see the goal, so maybe that had something to do with it. But I didn't feel worried at all. I just thought, okay, we're going to come back into this, and I was still under. In fact, the first thing I thought was my prediction was 5-1. At least they've got the 1 out of the way. Now we can go for the 5, and I can get comfortable. So that's what. But it's great that this is Manchester United that we're talking about. In fact, Johnny, when you started watching Spurs 2014, so you had missed Manchester United's heyday, right? You had missed.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. So let me just.
Who was manager in 2014? Who
Moyes.
did they have then?
Moyes.
Oh wow!
Good
So
Moyes.
you literally never knew your Man United. Good.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't. But the funny thing is that my my mate at the time, she was mate as in the person I was living with that I had kids with. She is a huge Man U fan. So I know she told me all sorts of things, and I did a little more research, and that's maybe one reason I chose Spurs and why I'm not with her anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think to go back to that first goal though, I was right with Josh. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" I'm like, it just looked like we were getting ready to just get fucking hammered. It didn't look good at all. It just looked like we were ready to take it, and I was really worried after the first goal. But I chugged another beer and I settled down, and then the rest is history.
Do you know how
I'd say
go on, mate.
after that first goal, even though they scored again later on, but we were in control literally from that moment until the final whistle. I know they scored in that time, but they had 2 shots on target during the entire game. Both of them obviously went in.
Is that all they had? Just 2?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, altogether they had 9 shots and 2 of them were on target. We had 16 and 6 were on target.
Oh, we were far the better team.
Oh yeah, I've got the stats here. We had 64% possession. They had 36. Corners doesn't really matter, but we had 13. They had 8. We committed 5 fouls. They committed 8.
Can I talk about corners? Did you notice when Eriksen was taking corners, he was hitting the first man?
I didn't actually, but now you said that, it's fantastic.
And he's still doing it. The one good thing though, he said hi to the Spurs fans, which was a nice touch.
Oh,
but I tell you what, but I feel sad when I see he's just a shadow of what he was. Not even a shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did die.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
It does something to a man.
That's true. That's true. Hard to come back from that.
He's got some demons in that closet.
Any more stats other than corners and?
Oh no, I'm on the BBC website, so it's very basic.
Yeah, I knew we'd come back into it. We did, and any other points you guys want to mention before we move on?
I've got some
Well,
stats here.
yeah,
the whole
We've got
game.
90% pass accuracy. And they had 70.
Can we talk about Bentancur as well?
How many passes did we have, Hannah?
We had 497 and they had 237.
And we were 90% accurate?
Right.
And 90% accuracy.
So that means
That's fantastic.
that we had nearly double more accurate passes than they did, which is amazing. But let's just talk about Man U a minute. I tried to earlier, and this is why you can tell that we're not
We're
professional
not doing
podcasters.
Bentancur. That's fine. We'll carry
No,
on.
we're going to talk about Bentancur in a minute. So I wanted to talk about Manchester United. So I've got this thing that I wanted to get off my chest, right? They were by far the biggest club in England. Yeah, of course.
I would say they still are. They're
biggest.
they're probably the biggest club in the world. I would say.
But why?
Not the best.
But based on what they're the biggest in? Because finances, they're not anymore.
That's not what I mean. I mean, what I mean is in terms of
fans.
popularity
Name recognition.
and like you show the Man United badge anywhere, everyone knows who they are. No,
Right.
there's no one
But
that doesn't
that-
know who Man United are.
But that's going to wane, right? Because if they don't start if they don't start doing what they used to do and what they're known for, and they haven't for how many years, then that's going to wear thin sooner or later, right? So Man City, who are a plastic club, and even Chelsea, you don't see too many people wearing Chelsea or Man City tops whenever you go on holiday, like in Cyprus, for instance, in the summer. Unless they're tourists who come over, you don't really see that because they are, to all intents and purposes, plastic clubs. Thank you, Simon Jordan. Love the guy, right? And so, yeah, Manchester United are, I would say, they are, but back in the 90s and the noughties and up till 2010 or 2013 when they last won the championship, they were.
It was up until Fergie left, wasn't it?
Yeah, and in 2013 when he won the league, they had a terrible, terrible squad, and they still won the league.
It was Tom Cleverley and Anderson in midfield, wasn't it? Something ridiculous like that.
Evans,
John Stones at the back.
Yeah, Evans.
Not John Stones, sorry, fucking hell, Phil Jones.
Phil Jones. Evans, who is still playing now. But they were huge. Do you know what I mean? To go to Old Trafford, we knew as Spurs fans, forget it. It ain't happening. You know, it's not. We're not going to win. It's fine, you know. Just go there.
Do you remember that game when we were 2-0 up at half time? And I think it was Darren Bent and Modric scored. And I think that was the game when they got that penalty where Nani picked the ball up, gave it back to Gomez, and then Nani just rolled it in.
We lost 5-2, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So nothing was going our way. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't just the fact that they were much better than us. Just even if we were better than them, they would still get.
It never mattered.
Yeah, it didn't matter. And so for us to feel that, we went 1-0 down within, was it 2 minutes? I can't remember. That didn't matter.
I think it was 2 or 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, it didn't matter, right? We were going to come back into this. And you know what's even weirder? That if you had said this exactly a year ago from now, you would have said there's no way us coming back. We're going to sit back. We're going to, for some reason, low block a 1-0 loss. And we're going to think that's going to work.
Yep.
And the reason I wanted to bring this up, and I've been waffling a lot, we'll come over to you lot in a minute, is that there are some journalists out there, and I have forgotten their names, they were mentioned on some different podcasts, where they say that all Ange is a motivator. And tactically, he's actually not that astute. And I don't know if they're doing this for clicks. I don't know if it was Jack Trunk who said it on his podcast. And I don't know if they're doing it for that. I don't know if it's clickbait. If I was their boss or their editor, I would ask them to create a retraction, because unless you can, I mean, there's nothing to back that statement up with anything. And we drew at Old Trafford, and how many players did we have injured? We had our probably best player.
Well, we've got our whole midfield out, haven't we, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Bar Bentancur.
Yeah, so let's talk about Bentancur. Josh,
how good was he?
I know.
And considering he's not fully fit either, is he?
No, not at all.
No. Go back to what you said though, James. With like, if somebody's making an argument that he's not good with the tactics of football and he's just a motivator, let's break that out, or let's actually extrapolate that and say, okay, that's fine. That he's just a motivator. Great. Does it matter if he's winning and motivating people to run through walls? He could have genius staff behind him that helps the tactical part. But if he's a motivator, and I think that's what he is, I think that's probably one of his strong suits, is that he's a motivator and he's a team builder. Because that's what it takes to win matches and win stuff is to build a team. I noticed one thing in the match, and I even commented to the people I was with on Sunday. When our team came walking out, I believe Ange was either with them or right behind them. He was with the group or right behind them. Man U obviously came walking out at the same time. And then about 2-3 minutes later, there comes the dinky dork guy from Man U. And I thought, why wouldn't he walk out with his fucking team? Like, those are his players. Why wouldn't he be a part of them? Why wouldn't he want to be in the family of the team? Why wouldn't he want to be there?
You say that now you've mentioned it, I have noticed, like, a lot of the Man United games I do watch, like, for example, the second half would have kicked off, and then 47, 48 minutes, then you'll see Ten Hag walking up the sidelines. He's like just come out then. Like, what's he doing?
He's doing an Eric Dyer, taking a shit.
Yeah, that's literally about to say. Is he like having a halftime shit, or what is he? It's literally, if you watch him,
he's wanking out his nerves in the locker room.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, like you said, he never comes out with them, does he? He'll be 2 or 3 minutes behind them on his own.
It feels really weird to me. So let's just say that Ange is a motivator. Great, he motivates people. That's fantastic. That's his job. Then fucking awesome.
Yeah, but
we got a good manager.
But don't you think that's like quite one-dimensional to say something like that? When look, we have signed 8 players, right? Since Ange joined, if I'm not mistaken, it's 8, 10 if you include Porro and Kulusevski. Yeah, am I right?
I think so. I mean, they signed permanently after Ange, and
but they were part. So 8 then, if you don't include.
You could say the same with Udogie then, really, couldn't you? He was on. We had him on loan at Udinese, didn't we?
Yeah.
Last season.
Well, it's either 7 or 8, right? So let's just say that. And look at there's still a lot of the players that were there under Conte. But it's not just, I mean, you could put down the fact that he's a motivator with the way that he's galvanised the entire club. But you see, that only goes so far. Remember we spoke about Arteta, and we'll get onto that cunt in a minute, right? But when we've spoken about Arteta, where he tries to, and he's not a bad motivator, right? If it's the first time you're hearing his bullshit. But then after 3 times, it starts to wear thin. And then when you do something wrong, he hammers you for it in front of everyone. And then you lose your respect. Ange isn't like that, number one. And also the fact that his motivation continues to work is because the things he's telling the players to do, it's being backed up with belief, and that belief is coming because it's working, right?
Exactly.
And so to say that he's just a motivator, it's very one-dimensional, and it fits a narrative of, oh, well, look, yeah, he's just a motivator. Go on, mate.
You're right, it is one-dimensional, but I think that's probably the hardest dimension to get right as a manager. That's probably the biggest hurdle to jump. Anybody can move numbers and letters around on a board and hold up a fucking light bulb and say, run over here, do that. But how do you entice him to do that? How do you make that player believe in what you're trying to sell? Like I think that's the most challenging part.
Yeah, I'll tell you what he's done. Hannah, this is to you, right? Maybe to all of us, but Hannah asked this one first. How long would you say that you've supported Spurs? Don't say like from birth. I mean, that you remember how many years? 20? 25?
Yeah. My stepdad's Spurs, so for as long as he's been in my life. So yeah.
All right. Oh, would you say that?
You just had a realisation how old you are now.
Yeah, please don't.
So you go, oh God.
The 28-year-old thing goes out the window. So would you say that Ange is the only manager that has made you want to watch Spurs as much, first of all? Would you say that? Or what? If not, then...
Yeah, do you know what it is? I feel like I invest in him. I don't really feel like I've ever invested in managers that much. I did have a soft spot for Poch, but we don't really talk about him anymore. But I really buy into him as a person. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd say yeah, actually.
And I know this is it doesn't really matter. I'm just putting on the group. Muted Josh because it sounds like he's going through some sort of tunnel. Let's unmute him and let's see if we can still hear it. Yeah, can you hear that?
No, it's because I burped, but I let it through. I didn't do it out loud.
No, mate, it's not that. Listen, hold on, guys. Can you
There's a fan or something running
There's a
behind
fan,
you.
or you're in. So I'm going to mute you now. Go on, look at that. Perfect, right? I love being in control of this space station.
Are you playing Romans?
Well, I think there is a green bar. My green bar is constantly making noise.
Because there's this fan in the background, or your mum's cooking a casserole or something. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, it's the fridge. I'm in the kitchen. That's what it is. The fridge is buzzing in the background.
We're so professional.
Yeah. So the other thing is that the other question is that when I know it doesn't count, but when we have him doing press conferences, I can't wait to hear them. I've never done it before for any other manager where I've actually taken the time, gone onto YouTube that night and listened to the whole 20-minute thing. I haven't ever done that before, but this, I want to hear this guy. And I'll tell you why I do it. Because, this might sound weird and mundane, but because I have a team, I learn from this guy. Do you know what I mean? I like the way that he responds to people and the way that he does things and his mannerisms. And for me, it's like a bit of an educational thing. So I love watching him. I hope that one day he can write a book about motivation and about tactics and about how to deal with people. In fact, just dealing with people. I think that it would be a bestseller, And the other thing I wanted to say, which I was thinking about, and it sort of worried me a bit, was, do you think we'll ever have... I know we should never, never say never, but do you think we will, or ever, do you think we'll ever have such a charismatic manager ever again? This is all of you.
I mean, the way we didn't expect anything like this from Ange, did we, when we first got him?
I did. No. I did, and I said it. I have the receipts. So I did.
Okay,
so let's just put
I'm
that
not
straight.
asking for receipts.
All right, fair enough. But you can listen to them, episodes 1, 2, and 3. Right, you can listen to them.
That's a long way to go back. But I mean, at the beginning of it, we were all 90% of like Tottenham fans all wanted Nagelsmann, didn't they? And then Ange was like 5th or 6th choice after everyone else kept pieing us off and
there was
what
no
have you.
Postecoglou, wasn't there? Like,
Yeah, God, remember. But now we've got him. Where he was so low when we did get him, because we were so, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but when we got him, we didn't want him, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. But now, where we were so low at that point, the way he has been, he's brought us up so high. It's completely changed everything. And I know what you mean with the charismatic thing, because he doesn't seem like the rest of them where they get asked a question and they beat around the bush and then answer it in a really weird way, like Pochettino did, talking about cows in a field, counting trains go by or something weird like that. And then, but Postecoglou says how it is, what it is, when it is, and how he wants to say it. It's not. Do you know what I mean? Like he'll use his terminology. Yeah, exactly.
And so we're gonna move over to that cunt now. In 2.5 months, we have been without the majority of our spine, and he hasn't complained once. And then we see videos of Arteta being fed by Salt Bae in Dubai. And I know the restaurant, by the way. I know it very well, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap, put it that way. And the fact, I mean, some people have said that because of cost of living, he shouldn't have done it. I don't really care about things like that. You know, if you've got it and you want to,
if he's got the money, why not?
do what you want, right? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
Just because of cost of living doesn't mean you should be eating McDonald's all the time, does it?
Well, I know, but like we're going to get onto the question from who was it? Where did we get it from? Oh, from Mike. Actually, let's ask this question and we'll talk about it. So at Mike G Nolan asks, after seeing Arteta looking a knob in Salt Bae's restaurant, I think we all agree Ange would never. But where do you think he would be likely to get pictured eating? I'm thinking all day breakfast in Wetherspoons. Considering last week's chat, we can all agree he is avoiding KFC nuggets. Josh.
I didn't realise how much that would catch on, the whole nugget thing.
Bloody hilarious.
I'm so proud.
Yeah.
I wasn't even meant to be on yet. I literally come on just at the end as well. And I've changed everything.
You came on to do this Arteta skip. You didn't do it. So
I bought something better instead.
Yeah. What do you think Ange would do? First of all, let's ask that question and I'll ask some more.
Okay, so the way I see it, Ange would be in Toby Carvery with Sam Allardyce, Sean Dyche, with the biggest pile of roast potatoes, meat you put in. There'll be no veg on there, obviously.
No.
And it'll be drowned in gravy. And they'll be having the best conversation you've ever heard in your life. No idea what it'll be about, but it won't be about football anyway.
And the funniest thing about that is that even though there's so much food on the table, the thing that you instantly see when you look at them are the empty beer glasses.
There'll be a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. And so let's talk about Arteta a minute, because Flav made a point a few weeks ago on the Fighting Cock where he said we deserve a better level of fan than Arsenal, right? Because they are our chief rivals, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. I think that with success, though, the way that we're going, it does generate a bunch of these nonce fans. So we're sort of seeing that. Do you know what I mean? We're sort of seeing that among Spurs fans, and we'll talk about that when we get to the abuse of two of our players. But we deserve a better quality of how do I say this? Our competitor, our chief competitor, deserves to have a better brand, and their brand right now is being fed directly into his mouth by Salt Bae, and he's looking, as Mike says, like a knob. I could never ever picture Ange doing something like that, and it's not just because I don't want to be pictured in Salt Bae's restaurant. He would think about a lot of different things. This guy, as I've said it for ages, is an absolute mama's boy. He's always been given whatever he's wanted. If I think I want to do something, I'm going to do it. I don't care about the I don't care about this and that. He's a fucking narcissist. He's an arrogant prick. And I am so happy. I'm so happy that he's at Arsenal. And I want him to stay there for as long as possible. Discuss.
Well, it seems Barcelona are tapping him up at the moment, apparently.
Are they?
Yeah. Well, he come from there. Did he come from their academy? I'm sure he did.
Hey, I'm sure he did. What, did Stevie Wonder take over Barcelona? Why would they be tapping him up? Are they not seeing what we
he's
see?
Spanish and he's from their academy.
Oh, what do you mean he's
do.
Spanish? I've got friends who are Spanish. They're not tapped up by Barcelona. What?
Yeah, but they weren't. But you know what Barcelona are like? They love the whole in-house thing, don't they? Everything comes from their academy, and
he will ruin their house. So they can. I really hope he doesn't go. I want him to stay there for as long as possible.
Personally, I don't think they'll be able to afford him. They're in the fucking mud, aren't they, with finances and everything?
Well, we'll get onto the finances in a bit, and I think maybe we'll cover some other clubs other than the Premier League. I just one final thing. He finished. I mean, last season was the biggest bottle job in Premier League history. Fact. Right? Let's not beat around the bush.
47 days.
Fact. There was no team ever in Premier League history that has done what Arsenal did, and he was at the helm. If this season they don't finish first or second or win the Champions League, because they're at the FA Cup, at the EFL Cup, do you think he gets to stay another season? And this will be the end of the Arsenal chat.
You know what? I think he does.
Oh, I hope so. Mm-hmm.
Purely because he's a manipulator. He's managed to manipulate their whole fan base into thinking he's some... I don't know.
He's made everyone believe it's not their fault. It's
it's everyone else's fault.
The FA is against them and things like this. He's made everyone believe it's a massive inside job to stop Arsenal from ever doing anything. And the fans lap it up. And they all believe it as well. But
isn't that short term? Like, I'll give you this example, this scenario. In 2 years' time, in 20, as we posted on Twitter, in 2027, Spurs will win the league. If we carry on the way we're going, we are going to win it because every other club won't be able to spend a penny on players, right? We hopefully we win it before that. But let's say we win the league next season and he finishes fourth. You think the stuff that he comes out with is still going to be sold to the Arsenal fan base?
Oh, I think if we were to win the league, then no. But that's because of the rivalry. And I think about how sick I'd feel if Arsenal won the league. But
the thing is, mate, I've seen them win it so many times. It bothers me, but I'm no longer in England, so I don't have to worry about it too much.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, I know. You lot do, but it's because I've seen it before. But for them, they've never seen it. I don't think there are many Arsenal fans who are around 60, 61, 62. I don't think they were. So if we win it under Ange, it's going to be won in style. Right, and with our B team, which is even funnier. Mm-hmm. So I would love us to win the league, but I want him to remain as long as possible because he is the gift that keeps on giving. So let's move on. Oh, by the way, just going back to the Man U game, what did you lot think of seeing all of our defence back?
Lovely,
so happy.
Lovely.
2.5 minutes until we conceded.
Yeah, but they've been playing, have they?
I was surprised that Van de Ven played as long as he did.
Yeah.
But how good did he look as well, though?
Yeah.
He looked good. When he pulled up that one time, or when I can't remember what happened, but he
don't! My heart
tweaked
sunk.
his knee. Yeah, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! Not another Bentancur chance. Yeah, but I think it was amazing just seeing him back together again.
Yeah,
I can't remember what Ange said. What did in the press conference? Didn't he said something about them being together? I can't remember the word he used. A 1 or 2 word description. Ridiculous, I think. Yeah, I can't remember what it says.
I can't remember. Well, I know that when Van de Ven pulled up with cramp, the group chat went quiet. and then Josh just wrote, "It's cramp."
Van de Ven's dead or something, didn't
I? Yeah. First you wrote he's dead, and then it was like, no, it's cramp. And it was like party time.
But he come out and said it was cramp as well, which was even better. The fact that he said it himself.
Yeah. When I saw him, people pulling at his foot and trying to pull it up, I'm like, oh God, thank God, that's just cramp. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So about the game, you lot brought it to you brought it to our attention that Werner and Brennan Johnson were getting dog's abuse.
Oh, it wound me up so much. But carry on.
Have you? I should have put this on the running order, but have you got any any tweets that we can we call out some of these cunts? Some of these Artetas?
Hang on. I'll be able to find some. I know one person in particular. We'll just go to her profile. Hang on, no, talk amongst yourselves. I've got to dig for it first. Don't just wait for me.
Yeah, we have to learn this filler thing.
Or both?
Yeah, so about, like, Hannah, what did you... I try not to really go on social media after a game, whether it's a win, loss or draw. Unless Arsenal... I'll take the piss out of Arsenal. You know, that's what I do. I don't mind doing that. But I don't like doing it, and I stopped doing it because I don't understand why some people who call themselves supporters want to then start slagging off our players. And if I'm not mistaken, like with Werner, he hadn't played a full game since September, and he had played 80 minutes, 70 minutes, something.
80 minutes.
80 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. He when he joined, he wasn't Kane's replacement. We spoke about that last week. He when he signed, Ange, I don't know if you've heard this, it's come out sort of since, but Ange said to him, "You're not going to be the front person. You're not going to be there. It's not all about goals for you. It's about assisting. It's about making space, and that's your position." But for some reason, people seem to want to hate, and then they want to call themselves supporters, but not support the players. And there's something wrong with this formula, with this equation. It doesn't work out. I mean, you would fail in maths if you put this down, because if you're a supporter, support the players. And while Josh is still trying to find this thing, if you've had
I'll put 2 screenshots in the group chat. Bearing in mind, this is all from the same game. Just read through them.
Can you read them out? Go on.
Okay, hang on, let me go back into it. So, what's the previous one? What's the first one? Okay, this one. Okay, so, this is all from the same person. Do we just say the @?
You have to call them out.
No.
Why?
Don't say it.
Hold on, I'll say it. Well, you should have put it on the group.
I'd say it's public. Why not? Why not?
All right. Yep.
Tans Leona. Who?
Everyone that she... Okay, anyway, I'll read...
Well, everyone knows her, apart from me. Obviously, yeah. I mean, that's
you don't know anyone that we talk about.
No, I don't.
I'm with you, don't worry.
Looking at this, I'm kind of glad I don't know her.
So, the first one. I just feel like Johnson is winging it every game. Next tweet. Johnson is so trash. Another good opportunity wasted. I just want a winger that can cross and give me more than just pace. He's so useless. The next tweet. What does Johnson provide? I'm tired. The tweet after that. Werner, what on earth are you trying to do there, mate? Then the next one is something nice about Porro. So we'll save that one. After that. Brennan Johnson needs to touch bench for the foreseeable when Son, Kulu and Madders are back. We all know it's going to happen anyway because he's not a starter when they're there anyway, so that's irrelevant. Mm-hmm. Højbjerg is another one. Absolute shock of a performance. He just looks like a player that's CBA because we want to get rid. After that, bring on Hill. He can't be worse than Johnson, surely. Then further up, wow, I'm shocked. I can't believe Johnson is still on the pitch. This is all so close
That's
together.
That's like a really negative stream.
You skipped over the most negative one when she said Man United last minute winner. You just know it.
Oh man, I think we all thought that. To be fair, that's something we all thought.
Well, a little bit, but you don't talk it into existence.
So one sec. So this is Tans Leona, TANSLEONA. You're a cunt. You can feel free to say #start it. Hotspur Way said you're a cunt. Okay, because you are. And anyone who decides to say that they're a fan or a supporter and they come up with trash like this, you're an absolute cunt. In fact, I'm going to tell you an analogy, right? Let's just say I am an underwriter. No, not an underwriter. I'm a mechanic, right? I like these analogies with the mechanics.
You love them, don't you?
I do. Just greasy old men. I don't understand. Anyway, right? So
you and the missus love a bit of role play, don't you?
My missus is right here, actually. She's staring at me with a blank face.
Thinking you're not a mechanic.
I might be tonight, darling. No, still nothing.
You got no money to pay for that car.
There's a bit of a smile coming. Right, so...
Something will be coming.
So what happens is someone turns up at my shop and they've got a really expensive car, let's say a Ferrari, and it's got a little scratch on it. And he comes in and he starts screaming. He goes, "Look, there's a scratch. There's a scratch on my car." Yeah. Oh, I'm going to write it off. It's written off. Well, no, it's fine. Just give it to me for a day. I can. Yeah. Maybe I can just buff it out. It doesn't even need a respray. No. I'm writing it off. That's it. I've spent so much money on it. It's got a little scratch. That's it. I'm not going to give it any time. I don't care. That's what all of these fans are doing. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, maybe we signed. Is there a fan going off or your fridge or something, mate? Or something
taking off?
Oh, yeah,
washing machine. Sounds like a washing machine.
Sounds like someone's about to, or their laptop fan is about to explode. I don't know. You guys love making the post production so easy on me, right? So, what I don't get is that when we sign these players, they are signed by, number one, the manager. Who these people? I'm pretty sure if I was to go through at Tans Leona's timeline, she would have things, saying lovely things about Ange, right? Okay, so use some critical thinking. Number one, you love the manager. This is the manager who signed this player. Who cares about what the amount of money was? It's not your money. Okay, Ange sanctioned the deal, and I'm pretty sure that Levy said to him, mate, they want 47 million for him, maybe spread over 10 years or whatever it is, or his length of his contract. Do you still want him? Yeah, I do. I see enough there. I've spoken to the kid. I see enough there, and we'll probably won't use him, like Forest did. Maybe we'll use him in 70% of the games. Now, due to injury, he's played every game. And yeah, he needs some self-belief. He needs all of this. But to call him out, because I guarantee this Tans Leona, who I still don't, I mean, her and George Bannister can both fuck off. But what I'm pretty sure that this person
catching strays for no reason.
Good old Porch. I'm pretty sure that this person would love it if Brennan was to read these tweets. I think she would be overjoyed if he was to have a sad face comment, which he would never do, right? She would be so happy. She would retweet it and whatever. What fucking kind of human being are you? Honestly. And you call yourself a fan.
It's the thing I hate most is they will only they'll be watching the game in front of them and they'll only ever pick up on the negative things, the things that suit their agendas, things like that. Someone can do something ridiculously good. Say, for example, if Johnson did something well, he took on a couple of players, got a ball in, whatever. They wouldn't mention that. But because the ball got to no one, I'd be, for fuck's sake, Johnson, pick out your man. Something like that. It's literally just trying to beat down a player. And he hasn't even been with us for a whole season yet. I mean, look at when we signed Son, for example. That first season, don't get me wrong, he wasn't great. But there are people all over the place wanting to send him back to Germany because he was linked to Wolfsburg, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
After our first season, he was linked to Wolfsburg, but he said no, he wanted to stay and fight for his place. And now look at him. We're crying for him to come back from the tournament that he's in now. But Johnson's in the same sort of predicament that Son was in when he first started. New system, new team, new whatever. But you got to give him that first season. You can't just write someone off straight away just like that. No. Johnson's young as well.
Yeah. Some people might say, well, you shouldn't. You're a hypocrite, James, because you talk about Sessegnon. I mean, Ere sent us a lovely question, which we'll get to a bit later on. But you know what? Sessegnon's been with us for 4 years, and injured again.
Like it.
No, he does. He doesn't, right? And he's injured again. And you know what? When I see that boy, because he's a kid, right? When I see him play, what I see is that he's not wholehearted. Now, I'm only going on what I see from his body language and the way he is and what he does. Like that game when he came off, I can't remember who it was against, where he wanted to come off, and it was like, I don't know if you remember it. It was a few years ago where he was playing and we had made all our subs and he wanted to come off, and it was like, but there's nothing wrong with you. And he just, no, I want to come on. He doesn't, it looks like he doesn't give his all. And I've worked with people like that. And are they like superbly high achievers? No, they're not. They're just happy to live on the fence, and that's where they are. And why don't I think that he will ever develop under Ange? It's because of the mentality. And then Ange was speaking about Bentancur and Romero, where he said, guys, are you sure? Yeah, we want to play. We want to play for this team. Sessegnon probably had, I don't know, he needed some strepsils. And he wasn't, he said to Ange, I'm not up to it. I don't know. I'm just, yeah, he does, right? And I'm exaggerating, obviously. Maybe he's cropped for the 17th time in 6 weeks. But the thing is, when someone's been with you enough for a long enough period and you don't see progression, you still shouldn't slag them off. Yeah, we can make a joke or two. But we're talking about Brennan Johnson, who's played 17, 18, 19 games for us this season, 20, how much? I don't know how many it's been. And there's potential there.
I just want to say, I don't think that our players are, or any player, is beyond criticism. But I read these things and I think, do you actually enjoy watching football? Do you enjoy watching your team play? Why do you even bother watching them? It just seems like a painful experience for you.
It's always like, I see it like they've never ever smiled, sort of thing.
It's the people who play video games with cheat codes.
Literally.
There aren't any cheat codes in Romans, are there? Rome Total War.
There are plenty of them. Google them.
Oh, I will. And I can maybe learn how to attack someone.
Did you know there's one you can do where you can get an Oliphant from Lord of the Rings in it?
Really?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
All right, this is the wrong podcast for that. Okay.
Anyway, carry on.
Nerds.
Dorks.
So, question for Hannah. That's what the running order says. George, who is at Don't Follow 1882 on X, asks.
Is that his thing? Don't follow, or are you telling us not to follow him?
No, I would never say not to follow him of our slags. So
I think it's do not follow at 1882.
What did I write? Yeah, sorry.
1882.
Do not. I like to read these things wrong. Yeah, do not follow it. 1882. Who's hitting their head against the desk?
That was me again.
All right. It's the eve of the North London derby, and a magical genie. Aren't all genies magical? I mean, anyway, visits you with the offer of controlling how many goals are scored by Spurs. In return for a goal, you must insert a fish finger up your bum, but you can't control how many goals Arsenal score. How many fingers do you go with, Hannah?
Okay.
By the way, before Hannah answers, can we also say that Todge has answered this question?
He has. We need to.
He was right in there, wasn't he?
Yeah, I just need to find it. If one of
He
you
is
very
excited about it.
No, just start finding it, Hannah. You can start dissecting this one.
I have a couple of questions first. These weren't covered in the question. Are these frozen fish fingers or are they cooked fish fingers?
Would you prefer frozen or cooked?
Or forward? Just compare
They
this.
would give very
mushed.
different results.
Well, what would you prefer, Hannah?
Well, I want to get as many out there as possible. So.
You got the bird's eye box of 24.
Listen, I did my research. They do boxes of 30 now.
30?
30.
Oh, wow.
Do they have a 1+1?
Listen.
Yeah.
Right. Hang on. I need the evidence. I need to post it in the group. Anyway, I'll do that in a minute. I mean, if they're cooked, the possibilities are endless, surely.
Well,
within reason.
Well,
I can't find James's answer.
So,
I just put it in the chat, bud.
Oh, have you? Oh, sorry.
and also they do chunky ones now. Do chunky ones count for more than one goal?
What you can also get battered or breadcrumbed.
Do you count it when you slag a chunky guy that it counts as more than one?
I can't say I have.
Oh, god damn it!
Believe it or not. I reckon on a good day I could do. I reckon I could do a box 30.
Fucking hell!
So we're winning 30-2.
Well, I have no control over how many they score.
Well, I don't think they're going to score more than 2.
But I need a buffer.
I mean, it's gone past the point of you wanting Spurs to win and gone into the enjoyment.
No, listen, James. Listen.
I'm listening.
It's going to be tight, right? So the goal difference counts.
Something's not going to be tight.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Goal difference is going to count. I'm taking 30 for the team here. So.
I think you're preparing for the zombie apocalypse of shoving that much food in your ass.
The question was asked, and I was here to answer. So.
I think you're just too eager to put food inside of your bum.
Listen, that's a different pod.
Don't I read out Todge's answer as well?
Yeah, go on.
Who's going for it? I reckon Johnny.
I'll do it. Yeah, sure.
Oh, I love it when Johnny reads stuff.
Yep. Yeah. I'd like to clarify that I would take I wouldn't take fingers. I'd take an aquarium. Make it SeaWorld in my sphincter.
That man would take orcas up his arse and you're having a go at me.
And it puts such a different take on Free Willy, doesn't it?
I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, dear me. Right.
Fantastic.
Jose sacked. Johnny, discuss.
Oh, our friend Jose Mourinho just got sacked by Roma today. I didn't know this, but he had been there almost 929 days at the club. He won what the fuck did he win there? The
Conference League.
Europa League, yeah, the Conference League, yep. He won it in 2002, and since then he hadn't been very good. So it runs right in his normal time frame of, what is it, like 4 seasons, give or take? He usually shits the bed and he gets fired. Yeah, maximum 4 seasons. He got a red card, and I think there was a second red card this season he's gotten.
He got one, and 3 days later got another one.
Oh, Jesus Christ Almighty!
Did you hear about the one he got recently? Oh,
yeah,
it was fantastic.
Tell us about it.
He went on the pitch, took the ball away from the referee, and booted it into the stands.
Holy moly!
And then the ref obviously sent him off. But all the Roma fans love him. But obviously after he did that, all the Roma fans are giving him a standing ovation as he's being obviously sent off the pitch.
Does anyone know, was their football as turgid as it was when he was with us? And with Man U and with every other club apart from his first stint at Chelsea?
I never watched.
I honestly don't know.
Well, your brother might, Johnny. I mean, he loves him, doesn't he? What did he say? What did he say about Jose?
He said, hopefully he comes back to Chelsea. And I said, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
They're just scavengers at this point.
Can we, look, we've talked about Arsenal. Let's talk about Chelsea a minute. But not for too long, right? Do you think that Poch should be sacked?
I don't want him to be.
No, he can stay.
Just you know, you're not a Spurs fan. You've got a football head on now. Do you think that he should be sacked? So do I.
I don't think so, because they have. Well, I don't know, man. He's got a lot of. I don't know. That's a hard one to answer, because their owner is completely fucking unhinged, and they have all sorts of weird pieces that they're trying to move in and out of and to make a cohesive team. And I think Poch probably is regretting the job that he took because of all the disastrous mess that Chelsea are in, and they have been in, and they're going to be in for a long time, because of the owner needs to just saddle up and stop being a goddamn American cowboy and use his head. It's incredible.
So when in America, is he like? Do you know him? Is he talked about?
I didn't know him until he bought Chelsea, but you know that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Generally, I don't know much of what's going on, but it's just looking at what they've done. It's amazing. It's utterly amazing that they've spent that much money, that much effort and time, and they have gotten squat over it. How much money they've spent in the last 2 seasons?
Over $1 billion.
Over $1 billion.
Is it true that he's bought the? It's true. He bought the Golden Globes.
I've heard about this. He owns them as a entity sort of thing, doesn't he?
He owns. I mean, maybe that'll be. He probably thinks that's the only way Chelsea are going to win silverware.
He's going to put them all up in Chelsea.
Yeah, he's bought the Golden Globes. I find that really weird. I mean, but. I used to think that with Poch, what would happen is he would start to get his point across around about November, December. They've won 3 in a row, but they're nowhere near where they should be. Mm-hmm. You're talking about a team that spent that much money, and are they 10th? 12th? Where are they? Something like that, mid-table.
I literally had the league table right in front of me, bear me.
Yeah, I thought they were higher than that.
They are.
Took a jump
9th.
Recently.
They're 9th. Well, I think it's their highest league position this season.
I do have a question because of the Jose thing.
Yeah, go on.
If somebody had to put a gun to your head and they said your team, your club could either have Jose or Conte, which would you choose?
Jose.
I'm with you.
Only because he's more charismatic. Football.
Yep. Totally, 100%. Yeah, the footballs are the same. They're both awful. But Jose at least is very entertaining. Conte's a miserable fucking son of a bitch. At least he was when he was at Tottenham.
And Conte hasn't found a job yet, has he?
I don't think he's not found one. I don't think he's looking. I think he's just like enjoying his time off away from football.
Are there
spending his millions
that Jose's going to get Southgate's job?
I hope so. I'd love him to be the England manager.
It would be entertaining, yeah. I mean, we would go from someone who's got no character, no charisma whatsoever, to someone that at least has something.
He's got all character. He's got everything. He's got all the characters.
So, question from Palmcoys, who is at Almeida99011, asks, who, in your opinion, is the most influential player of this season, and who makes the biggest difference in our squad?
Ooh.
Biggest difference, I think, is Porro. Biggest difference to me is Porro so far. Obviously, Maddison is huge, but he hasn't been here enough. But Porro for the season so far. An influential player, I think, is...
I'd say Bentancur.
I was thinking influential in the same way that people think Ange is influential. Just more of a captain and leading by example and that kind of thing. And I would say Romero, except for the red cards.
So your influential player is who?
I'm trying to think. Probably Sonny.
Sonny, and the one who makes the biggest difference is Porro. Hannah, over to you.
That was exactly what I had as well. Like, Porro he's just got loads of passion, doesn't he? And he just plays for the badge every time. Sonny, I think he's just really grown into being a leader, and he's a positive influence on everyone. Like, we saw sort of the Ange era kind of really begin there, and I think he's really grown into it. It suits him.
Josh.
What are the two options? One is
who makes the biggest difference, and which player is most influential. Now you can just choose one player. I've chosen one.
I think I'll go with Bentancur for. I could easily pick him for one or the other. To be fair, but I want to be annoying and pick two. I don't know. I reckon,
so Bentancur is who? Most influential, or it makes the biggest difference?
I'd say since he's come back into our midfield, he's made a huge difference. Since he's come back from his injury against Bournemouth, he was fantastic. I mean, United the other day, he was incredible. I think he got man of the match, did he?
Yeah.
Although I do reckon Richarlison could easily have got man of the match. He was fantastic as well.
You know what? We didn't really cover Richarlison at all, which is...
We should have. That was a bit unfair of us. But he was great.
He was really good. Right,
and he's another one that's been getting pelters online just because he hasn't got Mbappe numbers yet.
I won't have
But he scored more goals than all of Arsenal's
by the way, will you still get your £50 if he scores another 8 goals?
Oh, God.
I think he'll need that on his legal counsel. Let's move on. My player would be Vicario for both, and I'll tell you why. I believe that a goalkeeper he's the rock that holds up the back four, back five, or whatever it is, and when he's there, the guy he's probably a bit annoying, but the guys in front of him know and are confident enough to know that he's got their back and he'll tell them where to go, where to run. We saw it with Sessing after the game. He does that throughout each game. And the next
Who do you reckon he's annoying towards? Our players or the opposition?
Both, I think.
Do you remember the Newcastle game?
Yeah.
Callum Wilson.
So
yeah, he's a right character, and if you listen to him in post-game interviews, he's a really good talker.
Yeah,
like and he.
I love what he said about signing for Tottenham as well. He would have signed it in blood.
In blood.
Yep.
And you know what? Because this sounds really like racist, but because he's Italian, I can picture him. Do you guys have any Italian friends who've been to Italy? Do you know?
I've been to Italy.
Right. Okay. It's been there loads of times, and got quite a few Italian friends, and I can picture him saying this, like holding up his right hand, putting his fingers all together, saying, "I will sign it." And you know what? He means it as well. It's not just one of those things, off the cuff things that some players say. This guy means it. And he also said that he would have walked from Italy to Tottenham and signed it in blood. And everyone seems to forget that other bit where he said he would have walked it. And for me it's him, because I don't want to think what would happen if he wasn't in the team, and especially when we didn't have a defence at all. Like, I don't mind Forster, but I didn't want to think what would have happened. So for me, it's the most influential, the biggest difference.
That's a very good point, actually.
Did you see him hang from the crossbar during the match last week?
Yeah.
One arm as well. What a boy.
Looks like a monkey, man. It's awesome.
That was right at the end as well, wasn't it? They had a free header in the 94th minute, didn't they?
Yeah.
And ballooned it over.
He was just showing off at that point.
Oh, I love him.
So
to be fair, when we're naming them two players, and I forgot about Vicario, I can't lie. I chuck him in there. Him and Bentancur, I'd say. I always look at the outfield players. I always forget about the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
It's just because of how vocal he is, you know what I mean? And what he's done for us. Okay, so we're going to move on to the final bit of the pod. And a lot of people have jumped onto the levy time business. And the reason why is... Hannah, how many clubs have spent money on players so far in this transfer window, bearing in mind this is the 16th of the month?
I don't think anyone has, have they?
Well, one
Apart
has.
from us.
Yeah, there you go. Tottenham Hotspur.
Everton, are we the only ones?
We're the only ones. As of today, we're the only ones. Everton apparently are about to be docked some more points. And you've got Masters calling them a small club. Which is fucking hilarious.
He said it out loud.
Yeah, he wasn't just... Yeah, he just... Now,
that was silly.
Shall I say the thing about Man City? No, I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to. So, what we're seeing here is Nottingham Forest are about to be done. Is that correct? Or most likely, or Wolves are? Is it? Everton have been done, maybe twice. You know, these are all small clubs we're talking about right now, according to the head of the Premier League. Chelsea most likely have to sell players. They can't bring anyone in. Arsenal have roughly 10 or 11 million pounds to spend only, which means they can maybe pay Salt Bae's bill. And Manchester United can't spend anything. If they're going to spend, they need to fix that fucking roof of theirs. You know what? It looks like Levy's played a blinder. Because if you remember... He has been banging on about FFP for the last few years. And he likes the word game changer. And he said game changer twice that I remember, where he mentioned the stadium would be a game changer. And he also mentioned the FFP, and especially the new FFP that's coming in, where clubs can only spend up to 70% of their revenue on player transfers, player and coach salaries, agent fees, blah, blah, blah. 70%. Most clubs at the moment are in the 90s. And this comes in the 25-26 season. Spurs are already the third biggest sporting, or when we talk about biggest, money-generating sporting entity in the world. We're talking about all sports. Dallas Cowboys are first, I can't remember who's second. Tottenham Hotspur are third. And that is without covering this year's financial statements.
Yeah, that was since 2022.
Right. I suppose we were in the Champions League then, so it'll probably be a bit more. But we have had some concerts since then. And we haven't really spent... I think we've got a net spend of 100 and something million, not much, due to Harry Kane being sold. What do you guys think about all of this? I mean, let's rephrase that question. Where does it put Daniel Levy in your eyes, in your view?
Well, you know, I'm a Levy-in lover because of A, the haircut, and B, the financial prudence. So Levy-in all the time. I've never not liked him, to be honest with you. I mean, again, I can't speak to this too much because I didn't grow up in the London town area. But it's just the devil you don't know is so much worse than the perceived devil that you do, right? Mm-hmm. So all these people saying, "Oh, I want Levy gone." Well, who the fuck's going to take his place? A, B, it's his club, or we'll put him at the helm of it. He has to sell it. He has to be willing to do that. So you can sit here and bitch all you want about it. It's still a business in a sense, right? Am I wrong to say that?
No, 100%.
So, and he's put, if you know, we can, let's fast forward, let's get into our DeLorean and fast forward 3, 4, 5 years down the road. If we're the only club that has a great stance to buy new players and to maneuver the way that a club needs to because of all the financial responsibility that he's had, and he's done it well, then I hope all these people that have been Levy out for so long finally come around and say, he's done well. This is great.
They're not going
don't
to.
see that happen.
No, they're not. They're not
they
going to, mate. Just like
They're
they won't.
too deep.
Yeah, just like they won't.
Yeah.
Just like our friend Ere.
Yeah, we'll cover him. We'll cover him in a minute. But so I want to ask you guys a question, right? Do you believe that, like every year on year, players' salaries are going up, right? Mm-hmm. Like when Jurgen Klinsmann signed in 1994, he was the highest paid player, I don't think in the world, but in England he was at 20,000 British pounds a week. And it was like £20,000 a week. Wow, unbelievable. And he was getting something like £2,000 a goal. So, I mean, it was, we couldn't believe it at the time. Now players are on, actually, I don't know. I think Kevin De Bruyne is the highest paid player in the Premier League at nearly 300k a week. Mm-hmm. Then they have various bonuses and other things that go in. Do you think in the next 2 years, Hannah, I can ask you this one. Do you think in the next 2 years, players are going to say, you know what, I know that I'm on 250 and my next big contract, I'm actually looking to go to 170. Do you think that's going to happen? No. No, right?
Never going to happen. You wouldn't sell your house like that, would you?
No, you wouldn't. And you know what's really interesting, guys? That it's not just the 70% of your revenue that needs to be spent here. So 70% is a lot lower than what it currently is. And what's really interesting here is Spurs have the means to generate money, far more money than any other club in Europe right now. Real Madrid, when their stadium is done, will be in that position, but because they're in Madrid, not in London, that does count. Okay, they are going to have like a retractable pitch, they're going to have concerts there and whatnot, but it's not the same pull as London, so you're going to have a lot more contracts. They don't have the NFL, they'll never have the NFL there. Spurs are looking to have an actual franchise over there. Johnny, I don't know if there's news over there about it, but it's
no.
It's
I've heard rumblings. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, and the other thing which is so significant is that the auditing of clubs in 2025, some accountants and some financial or football financiers are saying it will go up 400%. So it won't be, what's this invoice here for 400 million? It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's just we found it behind the couch. It's fine. Oh yeah, all right, it's fine. It won't be like that at all. You will have to account for absolutely everything. Rules are changing on sponsorships as well. So for instance, if UEFA deems that you are a club, let's say Newcastle, okay, they're not, you can say they're a big club, but they're not huge. And all of a sudden, they are sponsored by a Saudi company who pumps in 400 million over 2 years. The 400 million won't count. They won't be able to use it as part of their 70%. So they can move money around that way, and then Interpol can take care of them. But with regards to the Premier League and UEFA, 400 million or whatever that amount is won't count. What will count is the going rate. So if the going rate, for instance, is 40 million, then 40 million out of that, so only 10% of that 400 million, will be counted per year. And so because of that, these clubs have a choice to make right now. Do they continue spending like money's going out of fashion, or do they start to look at other ways of generating money? Now, Spurs have done all of that. They spent 1.2 billion. They've also got the best training facility in the world. Mm-hmm. If you're going to start doing something like that, I think we spoke about it last week, you're talking about a 10 to 12 year plan if you start now. So Everton haven't even done that with their new stadium. There's no one else in the Premier League other than Everton who are building a new stadium, I think.
So I think the other teams are like renovating their current one, like Liverpool obviously are making theirs bigger, aren't they?
But it's just a football only arena, right?
And also, if they're just starting it as well, that's a delay there.
Yeah,
and he's already had this plan in place.
Yeah, so if you were to include league games and if you were to include cup games, let's just talk about Liverpool for a minute. So league games and cup games, and they had a good run in both cups. 18 days at Anfield for the league, and let's say 35 days using that stadium only. Daniel Levy created this stadium so that we could use it 365 days. Mm-hmm. And we're quite a way away from that right now. But by 25-26 season, I think we'll be using it. We're already using it far more than any other team in the league, in Europe, in fact. Mm-hmm. And it's only going to get better. So I think, Hannah, you asked the question about the naming rights. Do you want to ask that question again?
Oh, I'm going to have to find it now.
Put me on the spot.
So I think I just said, is this why we haven't sold the naming rights to the stadium?
Right, what do you guys think?
It's never crossed my mind. I'd never look into the financial things because it just goes way over my head.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, it is a good idea if we maybe look into the financial things. We're not going to say too much about. We're not going to say too much about that right now, just in case it doesn't happen. Maybe we can. So we have an accountant who is taking a look at the financial statements. Sent her the last 3 years, and she said, "Why did you send me the last 3 years? Because the 2 previous years are consolidated in this one, so I learned something new. And hopefully we're going to have a football financier on who's going to take into account what the accountant has said about the financial statements and where we stand. And hopefully in the next week or so we'll have this pod out." Now, what Daniel Levy has said about the naming rights was that, he said this at the conference, didn't he, with the fan conference thing, where he said that we believe that having the brand name of Tottenham Hotspur was more important. Personally, I think that he's killed 2 birds with 1 stone, because prior to COVID, we had naming rights and sponsorship deals were huge. COVID came along and sort of scuppered all of that. And so the price and the fee that he wants for the naming rights, especially as AIA ends in 2027, the sponsorship there with them, maybe it will continue, although I don't think so. By 2027, a few things are going to happen. If we continue to grow the way we are and other teams have to be a lot more prudent with their money, we're going to probably win the league. Number 2, we're going to then be in a position to have naming rights. Nearly 10 years on from COVID, the world has restored and gone back to normality, which means that we probably have the biggest naming rights deal in footballing history, and onwards and upwards. So yeah, if he had probably received a deal where he could sell the naming rights for what he wanted, he probably would have, but because he didn't, he did expand the brand. And Donna Cullen has done a good job there. Mm-hmm. Any questions on Levy time?
No, purple and gold can get in the bin.
Purple and gold until the club is sold.
Fuck off.
Oh, is that why they came up? Is that why they came up with it? Oh,
it's also because, wasn't it? I might be wrong, but I swear it was like the last away kit and third kit we had before Enoch took over. It was a purple kit and a yellow kit.
I mean,
that might be wrong, but I might be right. I don't know.
I'd love to know who they want to sell to. Firstly,
Elon Musk.
It's a joke, honestly.
Right, like I said, you don't know who the bad person is until you're involved in it, right?
Generally, billionaires aren't great people, to be honest with you, and you're going to have to be a billionaire to buy the club. So you're going to end up
multi-billionaire, by the way, not just having 1 or 2 billion.
Who's prepared to potentially lose money as well, because you have to be prepared to lose a lot of money. Him and Joe Barton could team up. Yeah, you have to be prepared to lose money as well when you run a football club. So I don't know who these billionaires are that they know who would. Yeah, I don't know. Very odd, short-sighted.
Is it the Qataris? That's who, isn't it? To be state-owned.
But Qatar. Great. So look, what the news in Qatar is, they really, really want a stake in Spurs. The problem that they have is PSG.
But they also want it has to be. They want 100%.
They want 100%, yeah, but they can't have 100% because of the stake that they have in PSG. You can't have two clubs in the Champions League, and that would happen, right? So
yeah, because that's what is it Girona? They won't be allowed to play in the Champions League, will they? Because of Man City, because the same Man City's owners also own Girona. Yeah, which is mad.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what. A few years ago, when I heard Damien Comely say that in the future, Spurs fans will understand that a statue should be built of Daniel Levy outside the stadium. At the time, I thought, what is this guy? What is he on? But you know what? When you speak to some people who are in finance, and we're going to, and I really can't wait for that podcast. I really, really can't wait. So I had a chat with the accountant said, and I said, you need to be on. I said, Athena, you need to be on. She goes, I can't. Like this is someone.
Is this pew pew?
Yeah. Pew pew. Yeah. She can't, and never has ever left a voice note because she doesn't like the sound of her own voice. So, but we'll have her on, right? And when you listen to some of these finance people and they say you don't know what you have, and you don't know how lucky you are, and they've been sort of predicting this now in the last 2 weeks. Everyone's jumped on this high horse and said, on the bandwagon, and said, oh well, look. It's Levy time, and maybe we were wrong. And anyway, we'll do the pod over the next week or two, and we'll get things right. And it's going to be really, really cool. So on to Ere, a.k.a. Divvy Cunt, who is the go on X, and whose handle is Ere98. 98 is spelled the way it is. Thank you, Josh. So follow him. He asks, thoughts on Ryan Sessegnon joining drill group OFB on a 6-month loan?
I don't know what that is, so I'm going to go. I have no fucking idea.
Come on, man.
Come on, George.
Oh, I was waiting for you two to get involved first. I want to just piggyback off of it.
So Drill Grip is basically something like gangster rap. Johnny, you know what gangster rap is. You remember too.
Yeah.
So it's that, but in England. And OFB, anyone know anything about them? Come on. I'm the old guy on here.
Old original Farm Boys? Original Farm Boys? What the fuck?
Put it
this
way.
Really what it is?
They would eat Sessegnon alive.
Okay.
Our divvy cunt, he knows exactly what he's doing here, and he's going to be on soon as well. And I can't wait.
Naughty.
I can't wait for him to be on. Hannah, by the way, you have to sort.
If you said that to him,
Hannah, you have to reach out. Reach out to Hannah because Hannah Teachy right now isn't doing her job. So reach out and
because he's agreed to come on. So
yeah, I know he's agreed to come on, but
one day a date.
Yes, exactly. One day I might have a Lamborghini.
Okay,
yes, set a date. Yeah,
you need to. You can't say, "Will you come on?" Yeah, okay. You need to.
But I was waiting for the
when.
perfect time. But that's fine. Okay.
All right.
Just rush me.
Next available opportunity next week. Get him on.
Well, listen, you were shoehorned in. I'm not doing that for everyone.
Yeah, but this is only a day. He's not. Well, he might be on forever. He might take my place.
You might do. Be careful what you wish for.
No. We need Ere and Josh on the same pod.
Yes.
I can't wait. I hope. Well, I'm not going to say anything, but yeah, it's going to be so much fun. And Billy T. Hello, Mr. Billy. Hopefully you're going to be on.
Mr. T.
Mr. Billy.
Mr. Billy, you're going to be on soon. Can't wait because I've sort of been sort of on and off Twitter friends for a few years. And,
James is a fangirl, Billy.
I'm a complete fangirl.
He wears Billy T pajamas.
You really don't. Not been washed in weeks.
All right, Hannah, you need to end with point 5. Clearly, you haven't read the running order.
Well, I have.
Oh, go on then.
I mean, I can read it exactly as you put it.
No, you need to do it in. You need to do it with your lovely voice.
I don't know where we're at with the rating system, review system. I don't know where we're at with that.
I can tell you.
Okay, let's start with that.
So let's start with it on Spotify. Oh, I can't tell you. Where's it gone?
See my problem, guys.
There used
this is
to
what
be.
We're dealing with here.
What is going
what I'm
on?
with.
Okay. So since last week, we have had another 2 reviews. We were
so it is working.
Well, we were at 4.8, but now we're at 4.5. But we've had 2 more reviews.
Oh, don't tell people that.
Well, we need to get to 5.
That's not on.
No, it's not because that means that
who's done that then?
George Bannister. It's about to go down again as well after Morg falling out.
I don't care if we call that people.
Do you know, it's absolutely incredible our rating was that high in the first place, considering we are just a bunch of cunts.
There's not a lot of substance to what we're saying either, is there?
No.
So anyway, guys, leave us a 5-star review, if that's all right.
Yeah.
It helps.
That would be really nice. It does help. It makes us feel good. And also, I want to say thank you, because we didn't get to every single question that was sent in, because we were
loads,
absolutely
right?
bombarded.
Wow.
I don't think we've ever
11
had a
or 12.
response like
It's
that.
fantastic.
And they were really good as well.
And we only put the questions out, like, literally, not even 2 hours before we started recording.
Yeah.
A shout out to the fish finger guy as well. But can we also read out what Johnny thought? What was...
Oh, please, can we... Oh, well,
where is
basically, Johnny, what you assumed the fish finger question meant. We need to address this. Please.
There's a translation. There's a translation issue. I don't know if our listeners on the podcast can tell, but I'm not British.
I mean, Portsmouth probably gave it away.
Yeah, probably. When I had Portsmouth, yeah. So fish fingers. I was thinking for some reason was like you just had fishy fingers. So I was like, oh fuck, I'll put a fist up my ass. I don't care.
You said.
No, here it is.
Go
I found it.
Go ahead, Hannah. You can quote me.
You said I'd have 2 fists up my ass.
That's right.
Your actual reply was, oh wait, translation problem. I forgot. Fish finger are what we call fish sticks. Yes. I thought he was saying a fishy finger, like a finger in my bum.
Which begs the question, Johnny.
Go ahead, Hannah.
Why is your bum fishy?
Like a
I think
dog bum.
it depends on whatever pool of water I'm sitting in at the time, to be honest with you.
SeaWorld, I imagine.
But, you know what it means?
Circle.
Hannah, do you know what this means? It means that we now have a sequel to Stinky Dick.
We do!
Stinky Dick and Fish Finger.
Listen,
By the way,
that sounds like a crime-fighting duo. That is a crime-fighting duo.
Can I just jump in? Well, part of my appraisal is innovation.
Wow.
Right? Can I put this down? Do you think that would go well?
Fish Finger and Stinky? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
So let's tell. I know I haven't shared it with you, all of you yet, but you're going to see it soon. Hannah has a thing about stinky dicks, obviously.
For fuck's sake.
Right, and so we decided to write a novella called Stinky Dick, and it involves all of us, and it's a very funny story. The guys haven't seen it yet. I have started on it, and when I have more time, I try and write a chapter here or there. And I'm hoping that by the end of this season, it will be released. I'm really hoping that that's the case. And now we have a sequel.
Well, the way it's been put to me is like it's more of a biography.
It is. It's more about you. All the source material. Especially Turkey. And there's other things that happen. But look, our research for the book comes from our group chat, which is the most insane, hilarious. Group chat unhinged group chat I have ever been on. In fact, there are times when I smoke my shisha at night where I look through it and I say, I can't believe what I've let myself in for, and I love it. And then every now and then, all of us just say we love this group, because it's hilarious. And soon we're going to let you guys sort of into it as well, which will be fun. Talk about that a bit more. We've got a title for this pod, Bonce Bae. What do you think?
I like it.
I said Bonce right at the beginning, and that's just.
I wrote it down. So that's it. Say goodbye, Johnny.
Goodbye, everybody. And if I'm just going to say, if any of our listeners go into the Dog and Pony Show, just say hello to the owner, Kyle. Just tell him that you heard about this podcast, and we might have a future something for you there.
Oh. Kyle is such an American name as well. I love it.
He's a really nice guy. They make really good beer too.
Is he the owner? He's the actual owner.
He is. He is the actual owner. Yeah, nice guy.
Did you tell him you're on the pod?
I told him I was on a podcast and that we might be working on something soon. And I'll just leave it at that for our listeners. If any of our travelers come to the Detroit area to watch a Spurs match, or dedicated listeners from the area, so stay tuned on that.
So is he a Spurs fan?
He is a huge Spurs fan.
And you didn't tell him about our pod?
I said I am on a pod, and I left it at that. And I'm going to tell him all the details, and then I'm going to work something out. Just stay tuned.
He's in for a wild ride.
No, because
that's kind of why I didn't want to tell him all the details yet.
Right.
You can't say, listen. Yeah, exactly. Like, no, I don't want this bar mentioned anymore. Jesus Christ, we're family friendly here.
But America overtook Australia again. So I thought,
well done, Johnny.
Well done, Johnny.
All I had to do was talk to Kyle.
Flag.
Yeah, just not tell anyone that what the actual podcast is called.
That's right. I'll keep doing exactly what I'm doing.
America.
It's really working.
America, get a sticker or something up in there. Get a poster up on the board.
We should.
Yeah.
But Americans are all Columbo, basically. You don't have to tell them exactly what it is you're doing, but they will figure it out, and that's why they've overtaken Australia. Hannah, say goodbye, darling.
Love you. Bye.
Say goodbye, Josh.
It's been a pleasure again. Goodbye.
And see you later for me. Bye-bye.